Hello, Aquarius, and welcome to the Soulmate Experience. I'm going to be doing a reading from June 22nd to the 20. What the fuck was that? Sorry, something like flipped on my screen. June 22nd to the 31st. So this is for the last week plus of, I think, the last 10 days of July. Did I say June? I keep saying June, July. Jesus Christ, time is flying. But anyways, let's get into your reading. This is for Aquarius. Lord Angel Spirit Guides, give me the message for Aquarius. Lord Angel Spirit Guides, give me the message for Aquarius. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Let's get started. Okay. Surface mind, you have the world, which represents traveling, expansion, growth, going beyond your bounds, that kind of thing. The world is a great card, expansiveness. The tower, that's another card of Taurus. And the five of wands. Hmm. Five of pentacles. And five is the push through number. If you know anything about numerology, five represents the push through, a difficult period, but a worthy period, the push through energy. I think some of you have been fighting with yourselves to stay in a situation or to stay with something that wasn't for your highest good. You might have been fighting. Um, there might be fear of abandonment happening or fear of a family breaking up. There's also fear of like, I've invested a lot of time and energy into this. I can't afford for this to break apart. But the fact that expansion is in your surface mind, so you're actively thinking about this growth that's supposed to happen. Some of you, some kind of notion that you've had about yourself. Let me see. Is this personally or is this exterior? The seven of wands, the eight of pentacles, the ace of pentacles, which together makes a nine of pentacles. So I feel like it's personal. Even though the seven of wands talks about creating barriers between yourself and the environment. Okay, I'm gonna say this very clearly. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't want to filter my words. Um, I'm trying to be careful what I say because it's Mercury retrograde, but I'm just gonna have to put it as plainly as possible. I'm getting that some of you are going through some kind of a shift internally. Some of you have a defense mechanism, very highly built up, and there is a fear of abandonment also that you have or you've had for a long time. And I'm getting that there's a shift that is happening within your energy that's allowing you to finally breathe or be free. There's some kind of healing that might be taking place also, or at least it's a focus on healing that is going to be taking place. Some of you are feeling left out, like there's this worry of what now. I get it. There's this worry of what now? Like, what's the next stage? What's the next step in life? What's the next thing? That sounds weird, but that's what I'm getting so far. Let's go deeper, and I hope I get more clarity. Well, I feel like I have enough clarity, but I hope I get more clarity for you guys as pertaining to what's going on. Some of you also have this feeling. I don't know why I keep getting abandonment, but some of you, it's like maybe you feel like you were being left behind on something, or I keep getting this feeling of being left behind. Like there's this feeling of feeling like you're being left behind. Shadow, the Nine of Wands, defense mechanism, the Seven of Wands again, and the Justice. The Justice talks about karmic law, karmic balance, the Six of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Seven of Wands, the Hermit, and the Emperor. That's a potential Aries. We have a Virgo and we have a potential Libra as well. These are the signs that I'm picking up so far. So let's see. With the Emperor, we have a Three of Swords. With the Hermit, we have a Six of Pentacles. With the Seven of Wands, we have the Justice. Let me see. Why the Emperor and the Three of Swords? The Six of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Tower. King of Pentacles with the Magician. Okay. I feel like some of you are gonna have there is a potential of having to make a decision about two things. I don't know if the Emperor represents a husband or a father figure or someone that you have children with, or the Emperor represents an Aries in your life, whichever the case is. The Hermit is facing away from the Emperor. I feel like some of you are using another person or a situation to distract yourself, and it's like you're looking for a reason to quit on something, or you're trying to you're I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm fumbling with my words so much. I've had all my readings have gone pretty fluently, but for some reason I'm having a hard time like getting the message out. I know what I'm trying to say, but I'm having a hard time saying it, and that could also be a throat chakra blockage. I've had it before where, but it usually doesn't work this way. It's like I'm trying to piece my thoughts together, but I'm having a hard time. So when that happens to me, it usually means that there's a throat chakra blockage, or it could be that someone is not saying something that needs to be said, or they just don't know where they stand. It's like I'm trying to speak, but I feel like my brain is shooting off in different areas, and I'm having a hard time getting what I want to say across. So I'm getting this feeling of confusion and uncertainty about where you are in your life and what is up next for you. I'm also getting that some of you have a very deep, with this Nine of Wands, you have a very deep. There's a lot of esteem issues, self-esteem issue, because the Nine of Wands talks about. To me, I always call it my PTSD card. That's the defense mechanism card for me. So when I see the Nine of Wands, I know that someone has some kind of defense mechanism situation going on. That's a wounding that hasn't been healed, that hasn't turned to a scar. It's still a wounding. The Seven of Pentacles, it could have to do with your upbringing, because the Seven of Pentacles represents to me the family tree. It could be because of your upbringing, or it could also be because of a relationship you've been before. But if it has anything to do with you being in a relationship before, then you must have children with this person for it to show up as the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles, well, not must, but the Seven of Pentacles usually represents planting seeds, and I look at it a lot of times as a family tree as well. So it's either you've invested a lot of time into a situation that just didn't pan out, or you have children with a person that just turned out to not be worth much. Um, well, actually, they might have been worse than that. They might have really hurt you. And that's where the defense mechanism comes from. But for some of you, it goes even further beyond. And I feel like it goes even further beyond because of the Hermit here turning away from the Emperor and looking at the Seven of Wands. There's something here that needs to be addressed. You might be looking at, if you have an Aries in your life, or even if you have a husband, this is not about them. This is about you. There's a need to look deeper within self. There's need to look deeper within self, to address self, to assess self, to evaluate self, as opposed to, because I feel like some of you have been using another person or using situations to distract yourself from having to do the work, and now it's being highlighted in a way that, and now you're becoming aware with the world, that you cannot get beyond where you are if you don't address, how can I put it, in order for you to go to the next stage, you need to look back to the past. You need to look back to whatever the defense mechanism is. There's healing that needs to be done. Some people have this tendency to want to move forward without making peace with the past patterns, past hurts, whatever it is. These things are a hindrance to you and your path forward. And you wonder why you keep running around in circles, or why you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again. And I always say this, people, they always talk about, I feel like, um, one way to know if you're stuck in a pattern or if you're stuck in a cycle in life is to evaluate how often certain things happen to you and how they happen and how you react to them. When a person is stuck in a cycle, you hear people talk about, I feel, those friends or that those family members that seem to date the same person in a different body. you know they'll say, oh, I don't want this, I'm done with this shit. In 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, months, whatever, they're back with the same person but in a different body, that the same energy sphere. That's because they're not addressing what needs to be addressed, and they're not learning the lesson that they need to learn. So they're being forced to be. The universe keeps putting them on reset, 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 reset. They can't go up to the next level. It's like having to take the SATs or something, I don't know, the finals or something, and constantly failing it and repeating the same class over and over and over and over again. The universe does test us, not necessarily because it wants us to fail, but because in order for you to reach a certain amount of enlightenment or to go to a certain level, there are certain tools that you need to have with you. When people try to, and I was just talking about this with an Aquarius, funnily enough, I was literally just having this conversation with an Aquarius. Um, when when people try to force themselves, even with things of spirituality, for example, like opening the third eye and whatnot, you hear some people become schizophrenic. Some people are born schizophrenic, other people become schizophrenic, or they're diagnosed later in their lives, and or they will have some kind of mental disability or whatever that you want to call it. But when I've come to notice that a lot of people that force themselves or they force their chakras open, not knowing what they're going in for. For say, for example, in traditional practices, shamanism was a thing, and it was a very well guarded thing. Even now, if you go to some parts of South America, they won't let you. Like I know the Ayasuka culture, they don't let you practice it by yourself. You need to have a shaman around, and they have to walk you through the process. If you try to push that situation, same thing with awakening the Kundalini. There are videos now on YouTube to do it. And I warn people about those things. If you don't have the necessary tools, I don't know what you're handling, what you're dealing with, and you don't have a person walk you through that process, you can very well end up being schizophrenic, because you're shifting through realms and you get stuck shifting through realms, or you open your third eye and you're not ready for it, and you start seeing things and it frightens you and people think you're crazy. There are a lot of instances where that happens. People force it with LSD. Is it LSD? Or one chemical or the other, they force it with some kind of drugs. What I'm trying to get to is that make sure that you're ready for whatever it is that you think you're ready for. Or how can I put it? In order for you to transgress to to transfer, to graduate into the next level. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time talking in your reading, Aquarius. What is going on? Like I feel like my brain is like pushing every which way. I hope I'm not coming off like a crazy person as I'm talking. I don't know, I can't piece my thoughts together. I'm having a hard time piecing my thoughts together. So um unless you're ready, or the universe deems you ready, and you deem yourself ready, of you've accessed certain aspects of yourself and you've learned certain lessons and you've garnered the tools that those lessons come with, The universe might not open certain doors for you because you will not be able to handle that next stage in your life. It's kind of like how I always tell people, everybody deserves love, everybody is deserving of love, everybody should be loved and get love. But let's face facts here. There are some people that are not ready for love. And I remember there was a YouTube reader who, she said one time on her channel, and she said, everybody, there's no such thing as being ready for love. Whenever you're ready is when you're ready. I agree with that, but I always tell people, yes, everybody deserves love, but what happens when a person who doesn't love themselves get loved? They abuse it. They don't know how to react to it. They don't know how to accept it. All this comes back to what I'm talking about here, which is the Hermit and the Six of Pentacles. You're dividing yourself into one, you're looking for distractions, whereas you need to go back to the Justice and the Seven of Pentacles. And the Hermit is facing this direction, which is telling me that you need to go back and face what the karmic lesson, the Justice is about karma, and karmic lesson and the universe, the order. The Justice and the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is telling you that these things needs to be tackled, and there's a lesson here to be learned about self. You cannot go to the next stage without learning this lesson, without healing these wounds, without dissolving this pain, whether gotten from childhood or due to a relationship that you've invested your time into, or whatever it is, or it could have been a business where you're trying to invest your time and energy into. Whatever it is, I know that there's a lot of investment that was done. It was something that was invested into, and time was put into. So it was something that might have spanned years, and then it probably didn't work out. There was a lot of heartbreak or whatever as pertaining to that situation, and fear set in. And so what I'm getting is some of you are trying to look for distractions around the situation. And I didn't even notice this, but we actually have the Six of Cups right here. So I'm not doubting actually that it's the past. But what I do know, and I do know for a fact, is that some of you might be looking for distractions. And actually, by indulging in these distractions, you might end up hurting the people that love you and want to be there with you and care for you. Let's start noticing our own patterns. Let's start paying attention to our own patterns. And I feel like the people I'm talking to, you should know because you're in the world energy. So you're already focused on expanding beyond where you are. And by now, you should have already started noticing. You should have already been in the Hermit. And we have the Hermit and the High Priestess. You should have already been in the Hermit and the High Priestess stages of self-actualization. The Hermit is about looking internally, self-analysis. So you should already be in that process. And now it's like, how do I go to the next stage? I've been running around in this cycle too long. How do I graduate now where I can be content with my life? I don't need people because I need distractions or because I need to feel loved, but I'm whole within myself. And how do I get to that next stage? The first thing I can tell you is you need to heal. Some of you might already be doing that. You need to heal. You also need to, let me see, what was this card? Nine of Wands. So the Three of Swords and the Nine of Wands, that's all healing. That's heart chakra. The Nine of Wands, fear. So you might need a mental, um, what is that? What did I work with for that? Elemia. Yeah, you might need to work with Elemia or Raphael, that's the Archangel of Healing or whatever. The other spirits too that I can work with, but those are the ones that I generally reference. Alemia works very well with the mind and negative thought patterns. I work with her, or him, I don't know, is a spirit, a lot for clients that I was going to say patients, for clients that have mental instability or have a lot of clouded thoughts or their minds are running around amok. I work with LMEI a lot, so some of you might want to start doing path working with LMEI and that kind of stuff, to clear your thought process and to give you clarity on what needs to be done as pertaining to the situation, because I'm getting there's a lot of cloudedness and a lot of confusion and a lot of uncertainty. But while your surface mind is aware that you need to ascend and you're noticing the patterns, Your shadow is what I'm worried about, and the shadow hasn't really changed. Of course, this is a general reading; it's not going to apply to everybody, but the shadow still shows that there's a heart chakra blockage. There's a discrepancy here with the Nine of Wands. There's a heart chakra blockage. There's a fear mentality that has been acquired, and there's definitely healing that has to be done. That is the only way to get to that next stage. You need to clarify and you need to clear your mind. It's almost like you can't access yourself. Wait, it's like you can't access yourself. What the hell? Where did that come from? You can't access yourself. I don't know what that means, but I think you can't access yourself. Maybe you can't. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. You can't access yourself. It's going to mean differently for other people. But for some reason, after I said that, it was like I had like this click. I don't know how to explain it, but there's something like sometimes when I say the right thing, like I literally feel like this sensation all over my body, like a vibration, like it's a click. Like, like when you hear someone snap, like it's like almost like that's it. I don't know what that means, but you can't access yourself. That's very important to someone. And in order to be able to access yourself, you need to own and claim yourself. And that means claiming the entirety and like the whole, not just the parts you like, but the whole of yourself, and healing the wounds so that it becomes scars and you wear your scars like crown. You wear your scars like the crowns, but in order to do so, you need to access yourself. I feel like some of you might have buried certain aspects of yourself or certain parts of your life or history or whatever so deep down you don't even want to address it, you don't even want to think about it, and you need to address it. You cannot run around it, you cannot hide it. The soul does not forget. You cannot distract yourself enough. You cannot pretend enough. You cannot run enough. Who are you running from? Yourself? You can't. You can't run from your own shadow. And that's what I'm going to name this video. Can't run from your shadow. Anyways, if you want a private reading, check the description box down below. If you want a ritual, check the description box down below. Thank you guys for being here so much. Thank you guys so much for being here. Stay blessed. I wish you the best. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instant Go. I have the app called Instant Go. If you have it, follow me on there. And that should be all. And my prices on Instant Go have changed. They're now actually the prices you see under this video are the prices that I accept now. But I can't edit the Instant Go thing. They're asking me to pay to edit, and I'm not doing that shit. Probably I'm gonna edit it later, but it's like $10 to edit my stuff, which I don't. Anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. Maybe I'm being selfish. I love the app though. It has given me a lot of business and a lot of insight. And I love that they now have they have it now on before they used to have it only on Apple. Now they have it on uh Android as well. So you can access it now on Android and you can download it on your Samsungs and whatnot. Before it was exclusively on Apple. So definitely go check it out, guys. And they do also have daily daily zodiac like as horoscopes. They have daily horoscopes, which I think is also really cool, and you don't have to pay for it. So anyways, check the app out, guys. Thank you so much. Follow me on there. My link is down in the description box down below. Readings and rituals, all the pricing and steps are down in the description box down below. Thank you, stay blessed, and I wish you the best. Bye bye.